on, guys? So I'm just heading out to the store. Gonna see what movies came out today. I honestly I don't think that there was anything really that I was looking to pick up this week. Actually that's not true. I do want to get a copy of The Little Mermaid. The Diamond Edition Blu-ray came out today. I have a feeling it's going to be more expensive than I really want to pay for a movie today. Anyway, you know, unfortunately, my job pays every other week, and we're in an other week. So, you know, I don't feel like necessarily going out and spending a ton of money on movies today. Really, half the reason I'm just getting out there is because, like I said, I hadn't been feeling well, and I just didn't feel like spending another day cooped up in the bedroom. So, getting out, trying to enjoy the sun while we actually still have some out here, and you know, hopefully I can find something. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to be able to find some VHS tapes. I mean, no matter when I go in, you know, to Bull Moose, there's always some VHS tapes, even if it's something that I just kind of, you know, looked over before and didn't end up picking up. You know, there'll be something that I can grab, I'm sure. You know, I don't know everything that came out today, and I'm hoping that there is something good. I'm still looking to get that Halloween 35th anniversary set, but actually that was on sale last week, and even when it was on sale, it was still way more expensive than it really should have been. Unfortunately, the problem with living in a small town like I do is that there really aren't a lot of places to get movies. So unless I'm traveling, you know, outside of town, heading into the city or whatever, there's, you know, a little bit more options. But, you know, the Bull Moose here, you know, I'm glad that it's here, because, you know, a lot of places don't even have anywhere to get a movie these days other than like a Walmart or Target, and their selection's usually shit. So at least I do have something, so I can't complain too much. But anyway, so we're heading in that direction. We'll see if I can find anything when I get there, and you know, like I said, hopefully I'll at least be able to find some VHS tapes. All right, so we'll see what I find. As we're here at the Bull Moose Music, let's go in and see what we can find. Alright guys, so just leaving the Bull Moose, and you know, as expected, they definitely had a couple of things that I want to pick up. Like I said before, you know, every time I go in there seems to be more VHS, and I don't know if it's always somebody giving it, you know, trading them in. I can't imagine that people are getting a lot of money for trading in VHS, especially when they're selling them for 30 cents a piece. So you know, I don't know if they're getting them from other stores because this store sells more VHS than other stores, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I definitely found a few this time that were not there last time. So I got some good. I think I got some good movies in there. Stuff I didn't have. You know, I didn't get anything that I already had on another media. I just grabbed stuff that, you know, even though it may be available, you know, readily on another media, you know, certainly not for 30 cents. So. You know, I definitely got a couple of good buys in my opinion. You know, there is one more stop that I want to make before I head home here. Now that I have that Laserdisc player, I would like to add a couple of more Laserdiscs to the collection. But you know, I don't know how expensive they're going to be to buy, you know, retail, so to speak, versus online on eBay and Amazon, things like that. You know, not obviously that you can't get them brand new, but when I say retail, I mean, I know that there's a pawn shop in town that supposedly still buys them from people. If I remember correctly, they're really expensive in comparison to other places on, you know, stuff like DVDs and things. You know, they're $3 and $5 for used DVDs, which is, you know, probably a good $3 to $5 more than they are at some places, you know what I mean? So it depends, but I'm going to stop there real quick. It's on the way home, and we'll see if they have anything good, you know, in any sort of media, even if they don't have Laserdisc. So we'll see what they've got. Okay, guys. So as expected, the pawn shop was kind of a bust. I mean, they did have a ton of movies in there, and they actually had a handful of things that I would have liked to pick up. But like I said, they just don't. They don't know how to price things. I'm sorry, but like, even in a, you know, in a pawn shop, I don't know how much they're paying people when they buy a DVD. But some of their DVDs are you know, $5 for a used DVD, which, I mean, I guess that's not bad. If it's a movie I really, really wanted, I might pick it up. But super, super common things that you can get anywhere, you know, flea markets and thrift stores, you see them for 50 cents and $1, and these people have them for $5 and $7. It's just way too much. They did have a couple of laser discs as well, and I was really debating. They had a copy of The Omen on Laserdisc, and it was only $5. The disc itself looked like it was in great shape. Unfortunately, whoever owned it before felt the need to label with a label maker right over the front of the disc, right over the front of the case, rather, that it was a bilingual version of the movie. So side A was in Japanese and side B was English. So I would assume it's an import, and honestly, I'm going to look into it a little bit. If it's worth $5, I may go back and grab it, but I was just disappointed that, again, somebody, had to ruin the covers and the case of the movie. And I looked through the VHS real quick, but when I saw that they were charging $10 and $15 for some of those Disney clamshells, I said again, people just don't understand that stuff really, I'm collecting it for fun because I'm a collector, because I love movies, and maybe I'm just cheaping myself out of a lot of things, but $15 for a VHS tape, for a Disney, a common VHS tape that I could go down the road to Bull Moose and get for 30 cents is ridiculous. And a lot of places do that. They think these clamshells, are worth a ton of money. And at one point they used to be collectibles, of course, when VHS was still the dominant media format. Disney did that, going back into the vault thing. So they released VHS for a short amount of time. They created a, kind of a false want for those items. And they made of course the cost skyrocketed for a lot of their movies, and it just doesn't, that's not how it works anymore. I mean, that stuff is so cheap, it's disposable as far as 99% of people are concerned, and the only people who aren't, don't feel that way apparently are pawn shops, and I just don't understand that. So anyway, didn't end up purchasing anything, at JR's Trade, because honestly, it was just way more than I wanted to spend for anything that they had there. So it's always worth stopping in. You never know, maybe he had a laser disc I really would have wanted, and if it was in good shape, $5 is a decent price for a laser disc. So maybe another time. But at any rate, nothing there this time. But we're on the way home, and we'll see what I picked up at Bull Moose. All right, guys. So we're back at the house here. Got a stack of movies to go through. But the first thing that I wanted to show off, and I was pretty happy when right when I got home, mail had come, and there was something in the mail for me today, and I'm pretty stoked about that. And that is the other copy of Terminator 2 that I ordered on Laserdisc. So this is now 2 of the 3 that I ordered. This is the special edition as well. So like I said in the other video, there were 3 different versions released in the US. The original, just the standard theatrical edition. Then there was this special edition, and then there's the other special edition that I got, that I showed you in the other video, that had, all the extra making of disc and stuff like that. So this is probably, out of the 3 covers, this one is my favorite for sure. It's just an awesome image. You got Robert Patrick's face kind of looming in the background and stuff. And I've never seen anything like this on any other DVD before, but because this is the special edition and it has the extra footage that's not in the theatrical version, what this is down the edge, and I don't know if you can see this at all here, this is a breakdown of every single scene in the movie that has the extra footage. It tells you what chapter it's on, and and how it differs from the theatrical. So I thought that was really cool, and it was it's actually something that I wouldn't mind having on or on a DVD or a Blu-ray, so to speak. But I've never seen that before. So anyway, really cool. Again, now I've got 2 of the 3 Terminators on Laserdisc, and I think the only other one I'll have to grab at some point is the Japanese import, which normally imports are expensive, but honestly that one's not too bad either. And then I'll have the full collection, and I can be kind of a completist when it comes to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which is again one of my favorite movies. So anyway, that was pretty cool that it was here when I got home. So just busted through the VHS that I picked up. Again, I didn't find anything at the pawn shop, so all I have is the movies I picked up on VHS at Bull Moose. I think I've seen every single one of these movies with the exception of the first couple that I'm going to do, and that, starting right off with Bound. This is Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershon. I've never seen this movie. All I know about it is it's filled with plenty of nudity and plenty of sex, and, it's Jennifer Tilly when she was still hot, before I had to think of her as the voice of the Bride of Chucky. So, you know, I've never seen this. I actually hear it's pretty good. This is the unrated version too, so I'm hoping there's a little bit more bounding, if you know what I mean, in this movie. And you know, I'll probably check this out soon. And you know what, I may even watch it today, because out of all the movies that I picked up today, this is the one that I'm in the most of the mood to watch, so to speak. So we'll check that out. Next thing I picked up is the other one of the movies that I have not seen before, and that is The Fear, Halloween Night. Judging by the fact that it's you know, it's got the Halloween night part underneath, I don't know if this is part of a series. I guess it must be, where the Halloween night is probably, you know, maybe this is the second or the third in the series. I'm not 100% sure, but reading the description, it doesn't sound like it's anything that you'd have to kind of go in order to watch. So pick this up because, you know, again, I love horror movies and all that stuff, so just figured that was worth it. Classic movie that I picked up that I had not seen until recently, actually, and that is Kevin Costner and Bull Durham, and I absolutely love this movie. I'm a big fan of sports movies, considering I'm not a huge fan of sports. I do like baseball. Out of all the sports, baseball, you know, hockey, those are my favorites, but which happen to be some of my favorite sports movies too, because you know, Slapshot is one of the funniest movies ever. It's a hockey movie. So, but anyway, Bull Durham is a pretty good movie. It's got Susan Sarandon in it, who you know, I love in Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that's pretty much it. And then she kind of got old really fast, literally, I think. But you know, she's good in this. Costner's good in this, and it's also got Tim Robbins, who I'm a super huge fan of. I think he's hilarious and pretty much you know, in everything. And which reminds me, I really need to find a copy of the Hudsucker Proxy. So anyway, Bull Durham, picked that up, and you know, it's just a movie to add to the collection. I've seen it before, and it's a great movie. Another movie that I haven't seen actually all the way through, and when I did see it, it was only on TV, so I'm not even sure if it counts, but that's The Lawnmower Man. I feel like I should have seen this movie a long time ago, because it's, you know, it's kind of a staple of horror, but I just never got around to it. And you know, well, it's sci-fi horror, of course, so I figure, you know, it being so cheap, and I figured it would be something I'd look into. And it says on here, and you know what caught my eye, which I thought this was funny because of the other video today, is this says wow, the best computer animation since Terminator 2. And that was said by somebody who whoever, David Elliott of the San Diego Union Tribune. So we'll see, because in my opinion, the Terminator 2 effects still hold up pretty well today, considering, you know, how old it is, and judging by the look of this, it looks like it will not hold up, but we'll see. Actually, this is another movie I hadn't seen or heard of, but it had such a good cast that I wanted to pick this up. This is Oliver Stone's U-Turn, and this has Sean Penn, Nick Nolte, Billy Bob Thornton, Joaquin Phoenix, you know, just a pretty good cast of people, and I'm a big fan of thrillers and stuff, so I grabbed this, and you know, we'll see. It does have Jennifer Lopez in it, which it could go either way. I mean, I actually don't mind her movie enough. The title is enough. I don't mind that movie so much, but of course, you know, Jennifer Lopez, everyone always just goes right to Gigli or Giggly or whatever the fuck that movie's called and say it's horrible, but you know, you never know. Here's a classic film that I have not seen in years and do not own, but I needed to, and this is the exclusive director's cut, although I'm sure it was exclusive when it came out, and I think it's readily available now in other media, and that's Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Classic, cheesy horror movie. Had to pick this up. This movie is so great. It's so hilarious. And, you know, I mean, you can tell what kind of movie it's going to be when on the back it has a Surgeon General's warning that says, "Warning, the Surgeon General has determined that this motion picture may be too frightening for people who faint at the sight of ketchup." So, you know what kind of movie that's going to be. So, definitely worth adding to the collection there. It's another movie that I haven't watched in a long time, but this is a great horror movie, good thriller movie, and that is Magic with Anthony Hopkins. And this is basically about you know, honestly, I'm surprised they went with Anthony Hopkins in this movie. You know, just because it's not, I mean, I guess at the time maybe it was something that you know, he did you know, he doesn't do these kinds of movies now, obviously, and you know, this is probably towards the beginning of his career a little bit more, but absolutely love this. Burgess Meredith is in this, Anne Margaret's in this. It's a horror movie, you know, about a ventriloquist dummy, and which sounds ridiculous, but it's not. This movie is fantastic. Another movie that I picked up that I've watched a million times, love this movie, and that is Stallone and Judge Dredd. I thought this movie was great. I never read the comic book, so, you know, as far as it comparing to the comics, I'm not sure. From what I understand, the character in the new movie Dredd is closer in you know, akin to the comics. I don't know, but I loved this movie. This is one of the, you know, the first R-rated movies that I remember seeing in the theater. Which, you know, it's not the first R-rated movie I've ever seen by any means, and I wish I knew what year this came out so I could double check. I'm not even sure, but I remember seeing this in the theater, and you know, thinking I was so badass because I was getting to see this in the movie in the movie theater, and you know, Stallone's such a badass in this movie. But I love this. It's kitschy, it's great, it's fun, you know, and it's a Stallone movie, and that's the kind of stuff that I like. So. And speaking of kind of kitschy stuff that I like, action movie-wise, did pick up a copy of Van Damme's Hard Target. You know, pretty straightforward Van Damme action movie. Love this movie, and you know, so I grabbed that. I actually thought I owned this, and I was like, God, didn't I just do this in a video? And if I own this, then I've already forgotten, which is horrible. And I did pick up another copy. If that's the case, I looked at my list and it didn't show it on there, so I'm hoping I didn't have it. Here's another movie that's a fun one from when I was younger. My brother and I, we owned this movie, and we used to watch it all the time, and that is Jon Lovitz in High School High. This movie is hilarious. It's a parody movie of like, man, what is that movie with Michelle Pfeiffer? You know, the one with Gangsta's Paradise, that movie. Dangerous Minds, right? This is basically a parody of Dangerous Minds. This movie's really funny, though. You know, Jon Lovitz, you could take him or leave him sometimes, but this movie is great, and you should definitely watch this sometime. It's on cable all the time if you've never seen it, so check it out. And this is one I actually, now this one I did know. I just bought this one the other day, but I like the cover of this one better, and I didn't see it when I was at the store the other day. The cover of the other one I just bought is all, it's not as cool looking, plus somebody had written on it, but I grabbed it just because I needed to have it, and that's the Buttercream Gang and the Secret of Treasure Mountain. So I talked about the Buttercream Gang at one other point in time. It's a you know, a religious-based family movie, and this is the sequel, and I'd never seen it, so I had to grab it. Again, I just bought it the other day, but I didn't see this one, and I like the cover of this one better, so for another 30 cents, I just grabbed it. Next ones I got here real quick. I did buy a copy of Angus. I didn't have this. I'm actually was just thinking the other day, this is available from Warner Direct, which is on DVD, which is you know, Warner Brothers basically makes the copy for you specifically and sends it to you, and they're like $20. But I hadn't watched this in a while, and it's a really good movie, and I know the girlfriend hadn't seen it. We were talking about it fairly recently, so I figured while I saw it, I would just grab it, and I would at least get it on VHS so we can watch it for now. Another movie that I love that I used to own and didn't have it anymore is John Singleton's Higher Learning. Big fan of John Singleton movies, at least a handful that are really good, like Higher Learning, Boys in the Hood. You know, those are great movies, so I had to pick this one up. The other day, I know I showed in the other video that I had picked up a copy of Leslie Nielsen's golf video, and this is the other one, the stupid little golf video. So pretty cool. I saw this and I was like, oh, I'll definitely grab that, and you know, that way now I've got them both, and I think there's only the two of them. So. Last couple movies I grabbed real quick, did pick up a copy of Daniel Stern and Bushwhacked. Haven't seen this movie in years. Remember it being somewhat funny. Daniel Stern doesn't do much anymore, and this, you know, it's another one of those like PG-13 kids movies kind of thing. So figured, what the hell, grab that. Haven't watched it in years. And then the last movie that I picked up is Mel Gibson and Mad Max. I already had Mad Max 2 on VHS. I actually thought I owned this one too, but I didn't. So when I saw this and it's in good shape and everything, I was like, you know what? I haven't watched this movie in a very long time, and you know, it's definitely one of early Mel Gibson movies. It's definitely some of the best. So that was worth grabbing. So anyway, guys, that's all the stuff that I picked up this week. I'm sure I've wasted way too much of your time. This video is probably, a half an hour long already between this and the tour of the town, so to speak. So Anyway, do the normal YouTube stuff like always. Rate and subscribe, and if you saw anything you like, then definitely drop me an email, and we'll see what we can do for a trade or something, okay? All right, you guys have a great week, and I will see you next week.